All right, this is actually an introduction to Photoshop as far as this tutorial is concerned. So, in order not to waste our time after launching your Photoshop software just like this, everything is intact. The very first thing you need to do is to first of all check your workspace. You can leave it at essentials, you can leave it at photography, depending on what you want to actually do. But for the purpose of this very one, I'm going to change the workspace to photography. Just it's actually set on photography, but I just want to show you the quick process on how to actually change the workspace to photography before diving into the main topic of the day. You now come to this window like this, you click on it, you see arrange, you see workspace. Click on this workspace now. You see a whole lot of options here, but the major concern here is this photography. It's already checked, so I'll just click on it like this. Now, it's actually set to photography because me, I love using photography, but others may decide to just use essential. It still works fine. So the next thing is to go to where we can import the image that we want to actually work on right now. So I'll quickly go to my folder here. Now, for the purpose of this one, I have a whole lot of image here, but I think we just need to select just one for the purpose of this very tutorial. You now come to this side, I think, okay, for the purpose, let's choose this one here, this one that you can see light blue check on. Then how to now bring in this very image to the workspace is still the next step. So what you need to do quickly is to come here, left click on the image just like it is already checked, and then you drag gently to the workspace. Now, do not leave it at this place. Now, can you see my pointer? That is the file I just brought in. If I should leave it on this very image, it's not going to make sense because it's going to actually replace or be dropped on it. And for the purpose of this one, that's not what we want to do at this point in time. We are not going to try to merge two images at this point in time. So I'll come down to this place where you can see background here, and then you leave it. Now watch what happens. It's actually loading. Can you see now? Okay. Now it is still not set yet because we still have some few steps to take us there. Now this is not actually the workspace, but the camera raw filter interface. Now, what is actually this camera raw? Camera raw actually deals with a whole lot of things ranging from the color, the exposures, and all lot of things. Now, here are actually the channels where you can see my pointer here. These are channels that need to be tweaked to give us a particular look on a particular image at a particular point in time. So now you see that you need to zoom in the image to actually study it before you start tweaking. So you now come on the part that you want to actually zoom in like this. You left click on it. If that's still not enough to you, you still left click again. Now it's actually bold enough for us to actually take careful look at the image. This image was actually shot by Bob Key Picture World. And as you can see, the model, I am the one modeling for myself at this point in time. All right, so what you need to do quickly now is to come and then you adjust these tweaks. Now, for the purpose of illustration, I'll have to tweak to let you understand how this thing works, even as a total beginner who just launched your Photoshop software right at this point in time. You can as well get to understand this with just this simple explanation. Now, if you tweak to the right, like coming to this exposure now, if you tweak to the right, this is what happens. And if you should tweak to the left, this is what happens as well. Can you see? So it just depends on what you want to achieve at that particular point in time, and that's what determines where you tweak to and the level of tweak that you are going to be applying to that particular image at that point in time. But as for the purpose of this, I think tweaking to the left just to this point seems very okay for me now, based on what I actually intend to present at the end of the day. Now, moving away from that, we go to the contrast. When you tweak to the right, it pops the image more. Can you see what happens now? I just needed to actually illustrate this clearly for every other person who is watching to actually get to understand these steps carefully without confusion. Then when you tweak to the left, this is what happens. So can you see now? So it depends on actually the look that you still want to achieve. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to be tweaking to the right hand side. Let's leave it at 25. You can decide to just add the numbers when you are conversant with it. But the reason I'm not actually using numbers now is because I want to actually carry everybody along. So I will just keep tweaking manually for easy understanding. Now you come to the highlights. Now, if you tweak to the right, this is what happens to the image. Then you tweak to the left. This is what as well happened to the image. So it depends on still the look that you want to achieve so that you bring down the harshness of the white to a minimal level. Let's leave it at minus 30 like this. Then see shadows. Shadows will add more light. Can you see? If you tweak to the right, if you tweak to the left, it actually balances or makes the image darker than the usual. So you come to white now. This white has to do with anything white, just like indicated here. If you tweak to the left, this is what happens. It balances clearly the harshness or the overexposed part of the white. Now, watch when you tweak to the right hand side. Now, can you see what happens to the white clothing or even the glasses as well that has white touches? Now, if you should tweak to the left now, look, this is actually the perfect look as far as this very one is concerned. So you just need to tweak to actually understand what you are about to present at the end of the day. So we leave it at this. You now go to blacks like this. Black actually works closely to contrast, but not that because black only, as in this case, black applies to just the black related items or on this very image. Now watch. When you tweak to the left, it applies more black. Can you see? When you tweak to the right, it actually adds a little bit of white. So for the purpose of this one, I'm going to be tweaking to the left hand side like this. I will leave it at, let me leave it at minus 35. I think this looked pretty good on my image as far as this very one is concerned. Then moving further, these textures also has to do with the skin. But for the purpose of this one, okay, let me just do a brief run through it so that everybody will understand what's happening here. Now, if you tweak to the left, this is what happens. It reduces some of the rough edges on the image. Now, can you see the face? Now, watch. This was actually the before, and this is the after, as in this with the use of these textures, it makes everything looks a little bit smooth depending on the level of tweak. But for the purpose of this, I will want to tweak to the right hand side to still make everything look more visible so that whenever I do the removal and all of that and the retouching proper, everything is going to look more sharp and contrast. Then you now come, you see this clarity now. If you tweak to the right, this is what happens to it, to the image. Can you see? Let's increase the tweak completely. Can you see now? And if you tweak to the left, this is what also happens to the image. Depending on the level of tweak and what you want to achieve, like I said, that's how the image is going to be presented. And again, do not over tweak. You tweak to a reasonable level, and the moment you see that, okay, it begins to look pretty good on your image, you can put a stop to it. Now, I've actually finished the color correction. This is actually color correction. As far as editing is concerned, it's called color correction. Then what next is to come here. It's not, you are not supposed to click done or cancel, but instead you are supposed to click on open image for you to continue with the rest of the edit. Now you can actually check the before and after of this image to see if there's actually a pretty good improvement based on what we have done so far. Now, how do you go about that? You come to this side like this, where you can see copy current settings, where you can see swap before and after here. All you need to do is just to click here, and you can see before and after. Then, if you still don't want to do that, you can click the P key on your keyboard, just like this. As according to my own setting, once you click the P key, it will show you the after, and then when you click it back, it will show you the before. This is the before, this is the after. This is the before, and this is the after. If this seems pretty good to you, or you still want to make further adjustment, you can actually do it. Then you now click open image. What to see what happens. Okay, it's loading because it's actually a raw image. Can you see reading camera raw format? Let's keep waiting for it. Once it finishes loading, okay, now, all right, now the image is fully set here. Now, can you see? So this is actually how simple it is to import a raw image into the Photoshop interface or Photoshop workspace to actually start your editing. Next, we are going to be doing the proper editing, ranging from first of all removing the blemishes and a whole lot. Then, before we can now proceed with proper retouching down to the final result. So, stay connected and keep watching and make sure you don't miss any of the steps so that you'll be carried along carefully for proper results at the end of the day.